joining us for this brief training video to go over everything you need to know as we gear up for our annual homeless outreach, Blessfest. First and foremost, thank you for being the hands and feet of Jesus and coming forward to serve on Thanksgiving Day. Our theme verse this year comes from Psalm 9, verses 9 and 10. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And those who know your name will put their trust in you, for you, Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you. We as a team of staff and volunteers get so excited to see everyone who shows up each year for this outreach. Not only do we have the opportunity to bless them with services like haircuts, a meal, clothing, and medical, but we have the opportunity to show them God's love, and that is the first thing I want to emphasize with you today. Now, don't get me wrong, logistics and knowing specifically what you need to do in your area is also very important, and you will have an opportunity to view those videos later or receive training notes from your area overseer. For now, however, let's just take a few moments and talk about what you can expect from the people and your surroundings the day of our outreach. We are privileged to have, on average, about 1,200 guests show up each year on Thanksgiving Day for this outreach. Now, the large majority of them are homeless and living on the street within our community. But oftentimes, there are people that just need a little help getting going, so we don't want to assume or refer to any guest as homeless. They are our guests for the day and should be treated as such, referred to with the utmost respect. Most of the time, things go very smoothly as everyone is so blessed to be here. But as you can imagine, with this amount of people on our property, there are situations that do arise. The first thing I want to encourage you with is just diffuse it by showing the love of Christ. We want to show an abundance of grace for our guests. Because some guests live on the streets, some have a habit of being very territorial. As some of our areas do form lines, there are situations where the guests need to wait. This can be very frustrating because they've had past experiences of waiting in lines for a long time. You can help our guests by getting to know them. Introduce yourself, thank them for coming out to our church, and take this opportunity to share the gospel with them. If the situation is not diffusing, we do have security trained and prepared for any type of situation that may arise, both emergent and not so emergent. It's very easy to reach out to them and have them take care of that. For those of you in security, make sure to take a moment and look at your training video, which goes more in depth on how to handle these types of situations. Now, it's going to be very important for you to be easily identifiable on that day. We generally have equal amounts of guests and volunteers, and everyone does kind of blend into the crowd. The first thing you'll want to do as early as possible is purchase your Blessfest t-shirt. Everyone gets so excited each year just to see how it looks. I actually have kept each one of mine from every year that I've served here at Calvary Chapel, Las Vegas, and it's fun to think back and look back at those shirts. Now, keep in mind, some sizes do sell out quickly, so you'll want to purchase that as quickly as possible and wear it leading up to the day of Blessfest. For those of you working outside on that day, make sure to dress in layers, trying to keep that shirt on top as best as possible. Now, for those of you who may not attend Calvary Chapel, Las Vegas, keep in mind that on the day of Blessfest, should we have any left, we will have those available for you to purchase outside by the volunteer check-in area. So again, wear your Blessfest t-shirt on the day of the outreach so people can see who you are and distinguish you from our guests. Speaking of purchasing your shirt, thank you for understanding that we do sell them as a fundraiser for the event. This event is the largest outreach that we do all year at Calvary Chapel, Las Vegas, and there are so many costs that go into it. Not just turkeys, but medical supplies, everything that we take to put this event on. So buying your shirt helps us to offset that cost. Now let's talk about the actual day of Blessfest. As you prepare to arrive, we recommend not bringing anything with you that you'll have to carry. Ladies, keep your purses at home, and gentlemen, you'll want to do the same with anything you want to carry, including your jacket, so plan on tying it around your waist or leaving it in the car. Our guests are required to check in all of their belongings prior to entering the building, so we don't want to be any different than them or add any confusion. Our event is held on our church's high school property using the high school building and the entire surrounding parking lot. If you're going to be serving with friends, we highly recommend carpooling if at all possible, as our chapel parking lot fills up quickly. For those of you serving on the first shift, you shouldn't have any problem finding a space. But if you are coming for the second shift, definitely allow plenty of time to arrive and find somewhere to park. For those of you serving on the first shift, you'll want to arrive by 6:30 a.m. This should give you enough time to grab a cup of coffee and report to your area overseer. If you're serving during the second shift, you'll want to arrive by 9:30 a.m., keeping in mind again that parking lot may provide extra time needed. And different times occur in different areas, so make sure to check with your area overseer. Now let me walk you through what to do when you arrive. First stop, volunteer check-in. You're going to receive a color-coded badge to further distinguish you as a volunteer. Checking in may seem insignificant, but it's very important so we have an accurate number knowing who has arrived and checked in, so we have full coverage for each of our ministry areas. So make sure you stop there, check in, get your badge, and report to that area. If for some reason you haven't signed up yet, you'll want to do this as soon as you're done viewing this video. Some areas do fill up quickly, so it's very important that you sign up right away if you have a desire to serve in a particular area. After you've checked in at volunteer check-in, you'll want to go to your area and check in with the area overseer. Depending on the time and how prepared your area is, you may have a few moments to walk around the facility and familiarize yourself with everything we have to offer for the day. But please make sure to be timely getting back to where you're needed. For those of you working the first shift, once your replacement has arrived for their shift, you're free to go. At times, people do want to work and continue serving throughout the day. If this is the case for you, we welcome that, but please go back outside and check with volunteer check-in to see what areas might need some assistance. You may have the opportunity to try another area. This allows that second shift to get into place and give them their opportunity to serve as well. So it's important that you step away once they've arrived. If you have any questions on this, feel free to ask your area overseer. If you have any questions about volunteering in general, feel free to send me an email. We would all be happy to answer any questions for you. The busiest area on Thanksgiving Day, as you can imagine, is the dining room. We'll be serving a beautifully prepared full Thanksgiving meal to each of our guests. We're excited to let you know that every volunteer is invited to enjoy this amazing meal with our guests as well. It's so good too. Please, when you choose to dine, utilize the entrance line that our guests are in. There is not a back line or volunteer entrance. We want to avoid any confusion as it relates to the entrance and exit. We all line up and eat together. It's often a great opportunity for amazing fellowship, ministry, and divine appointments. Once you're seated in the dining room, volunteers will bring you food. You'll be seated amongst all of your family, friends, and our guests. Feel free to start up conversations with them. Ask them what areas they've been to. Offer to pray with them should the situation arise. As you serve throughout the day, you'll have many interactions with our guests. At times, they may verbalize specific needs they have, like needing a place to stay, money, or needing a ride somewhere. We want to strongly advise you not give to them in this way. Instead, show them the different areas where they can receive services. Above all, pray for them. That, after all, is the greatest blessing we can give them on Thanksgiving Day. In closing, we want to express that one of the biggest needs at Blessfest is cleanup. We start cleaning up just as our last guests are leaving. Even though when you sign up, cleanup is listed from 1 until 3. If you are working that second shift, we welcome any of you that would like to stay and get us a head start. Even if you can just stay for 10 or 15 minutes, it would be a huge blessing. Many hands make light work. So again, we just want to welcome anyone available to help with this process. Thank you again for taking time to view this video. We are so excited that you're going to be with us at Blessfest 2018 here at Calvary Chapel, Las Vegas on Thanksgiving Day. God bless you.